Well, I've never owned a PlayStation, but it seems like I don't know. It seems like this one's big. People are really excited about it. They released a select batch of PlayStation 5s, and they all went like right away. And they just did a second batch, and the same thing happened. And I don't know how well they're moving the Xboxes. But then the other thing is now that it's all next gen, like we were talking about earlier, certain titles are going to be $10 more than the last generation. And I think what we were talking about is where's the money going? And I think we know the answer to this question, but the reasoning was what I found funny, which is rather than them just saying, "Hey, it's just going up because it hasn't gone up in a while. We want to make more money." They're saying video games are just costing a lot more money to produce.
That's kind of true, I think. Certainly with the AAA titles, they spend a hell of a lot of money on that stuff.
Well, here's what my quick thoughts on that is say take something like film. Like film has gotten cheaper to produce every single year. Like Netflix has said that they're able to produce content now way cheaper than they ever have before just because cameras are getting cheaper, like editing software is cheaper, there's more of a workforce that can do it. It's not what it used to cost. Same with games, like all the game engines like Unity and Unreal Engine and all that are all getting cheaper and more streamlined. So I think the costs are coming from the games just increasing their marketing budgets, but also hiring super big names to be in the games, which I think is kind of different from a game just organically costing more to make. It's like you're trying to market the game more to compete with like big blockbuster movies, no?
Yeah, what? But like, this is why I hate tech people. Like, why do tech bloggers and gamers care what it costs for them to produce the game? Either it makes sense for you to buy it and it's worth it to you, or it's not. Like, it's cheaper for Gucci to produce bags now than it was 20 years ago, and they're charging 30 times the price. Who gives a shit? Well, like why do they care how much Ubisoft's making off the game? Either buy it or don't.
Yeah, they're just complaining to complain. They're either gonna buy it or they're not, as Sean's saying.
There's a lot of talk about money in gaming lately, the past few years, with the whole loot boxes stuff which has happened. And then you start to gamble, you start to put gambling in with gaming. And that's why everyone sees a lot of people who are complaining about it, see these companies as just trying to, fleece the customer as much as possible. But like you say, you can choose not to pay that price. Although if you really want to play a game and it becomes exclusive to PlayStation, and they put it up ridiculously expensive. So I suppose I've heard they've gone up like $10 per game. But then I was looking, and that's in the United States. I was looking around, I found a Polish YouTuber who said that it's gone up from 239 zlotys to 349. So it's gone up by 50%, and that's in zlotys, mate. So
In Poland, damn those slotties.
and yeah, 349 zlotys. So it's over double. Like, well, it's gone up by 50%, which is pretty significant. Now, obviously, that's a foreign market, and you've got all imports and stuff like that to deal with. But I can see why people are concerned.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's entertainment.
Right.
It's nostalgia for a lot of people, and they'll pay. They'll pay for nostalgia. It's the way Blizzard keeps like putting out games that have long died many years ago, but are still somehow alive. Like people would just pay. It's like certain titles just feel like sports titles now. Like the Assassin's Creed franchise just feels like an NBA title now. Like every year there's just a new Assassin's Creed, like in a different place. You're climbing a different brick building in a different era. I don't know. Do we need this many games?
I am looking forward to that new one, Valhalla, though. That Valhalla one looks pretty good, to be
It
fair.
does look pretty
it's a
badass.
it's an invasion.
See, every once they're like an iPhone. Like not every generation's gonna hook you, but every once in a while you see one and you're
Right.
like, I'm getting that one.
Yeah, I'm up for a bit of pillaging.
But we're talking about an industry where Microsoft this week paid almost double what Disney paid for Star Wars for the Bethesda franchise.
Yeah, that's
Right, yeah.
crazy.
So they paid $8 billion.
Imagine if Doom and Fallout were exclusive to Xbox, like that would be pretty big for them.
Well, that's where they're going, isn't it?
Pretty much, and they need to do
It
it.
seems to be, yeah.
Well, Xbox is playing. When I look at this, and Roman, you know way more about this than I do. Xbox looks like they're playing long game, and Sony's playing the short game. Like Xbox is all in on the Game Pass.
Xbox probably playing a longer game, but it's also kind of a. I think they're just going after a different, more casual group of gamers. Are they not?
I don't know if I would call the Fallout and the Elder Scrolls people a more casual gamer, and that's what they just paid $7.5 billion for.
Yeah, and they've got Doom as well. Getting back into consoles recently with lockdown and everything. I'm loving playing the Switch, but then I've seen some of the stuff coming up, and I thought, you know what, I might get one of these new consoles. But I mean, if Doom's not gonna, if the next Doom potentially won't be on the PlayStation, and I'm looking at spending upwards of $500 on a console, then I'm gonna go for an Xbox. I mean, I'm considering getting a PS4 just because I want to play Street Fighter V. That's my favorite game of all time, is Street Fighter, and I've never played the new one because it's been exclusive to Sony. So there's so many of these deals happening. There's such a war going on right now, and the boss of the Xbox boss, Phil Spencer, he said that they will judge licensing for each game. Because obviously people are worried about whether Doom and Fallout will go over to the PlayStation. He said it will judge each of them on a case-by-case basis, which is meaning, well, if they play nice, we'll play nice, but we're not making any promises right now. So
you were saying, Sean, you think the console exclusive is going away. What did you mean by that?
I was wrong. I misstated what I meant. I said it wrongly. I think it's going the other way with this purchase. As I delved into it even more and sort of looked into it, I think Xbox is saying PlayStation's advantage has pretty much always been that they can create and ship more IP than Microsoft can, generally. That's always been their advantage. Xbox is saying, you might win this battle, but we're going to try to win the war because we're going to create a Game Pass that has so much value that people are not going to want to pay $85 for your standalone games anymore when they can buy our platform for $15 or $15 a month, have access to all of these titles, and eventually there's no way you can tell me, and I know what they're saying in the media and they're trying to play nice with the gaming community and blah blah blah. Xbox doesn't make this purchase unless they think down the road that this is going to be exclusive content on Game Pass. Like, yes, they're going to be handing back tens of millions of dollars that they could sell to PlayStation users right now, but that's just my take on it. This is really a shot across Sony's bow of, hey, this is where we're headed, and you're going to have to get into the acquisition game, I don't know how Sony's going to continue to just push individual games at $80 a pop if Microsoft is able to roll out this type of content on a Game Pass. I don't know.
I mean, what they've just done with Bethesda, they've got me with that purchase. Like, I mean, they have Doom, Fallout, Wolfenstein. Like, I just love games like that.
They're going to have all the EA content, right, in 2021 on the Game Pass. So I love watching this. I love watching big companies. I love watching the chess moves of big companies go at each other. It's just a question of how deep in are they on this? What if Microsoft was to buy Activision? What if Microsoft buys Call of Duty?
Diablo will get fucked even more.
PlayStation is fucked.
Aren't they inviting antitrust with all this stuff? Like, you just start buying up all the competition.
There's but yes and no. But good luck bringing an antitrust case, an American company versus a Japanese company. Good luck with that in the U.S.
Oh yeah, good point.
I guess no matter how fancy the system, if you buy up all the game developers and you have all the exclusive, it's like, who cares how many gigaflops your thing has? Or whatever the new ray tracing feature is. I don't even know what most of this means. I used to.
I'm going to have to unfortunately go, but can I just get everyone's predictions on who wins this console war? So, Sean, we'll start with you. Microsoft or Sony, and why?
I think it's Pepsi and Coke. I don't think there's a winner. I think there's plenty of market share for both of them, especially as Roman said, because there's not going to be 3 or 4 more entries maybe into the mix.
All right, so which one's Pepsi and which one's Coke?
Yeah, there's only one Coke.
It's weird because right now PlayStation's Coke, but in the end, I think Xbox will be Coke. I think Game Pass will change the landscape for them and the content war, they'll win the content war in the end. That's my prediction.
Roman?
I'm gonna go with PlayStation. I think they just have the brand, I think, for the next 10, 20 years. I don't know how long, but there's something about PlayStation and Sony. There's something about the quality that comes out of Sony's developers in Japan that people just love. Like, I don't know what it is. It's also combined with the brand.
That's true.
I think they're still going to be on top for quite a while, but I'm not disagreeing what Sean's saying. Like, it's very possible over the next 10 years, like, it just shifts because people want convenience, and bandwidth gets cheaper and faster. You can just start like streaming games directly to your TV. You don't have to download them. And Microsoft's got, the servers and the resources for that. So I could definitely see them taking it.
I think Nintendo beats them both.